Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavek Movies. My name is John and today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that has plagues the life out of every series collector. Yes, I'm going to talk to you today about the Scalpers. So, who are these Scalpers? Well, I consider them to be the modern day equivalent of highwaymen, like Dick Turpin, with the emphasis on Dick. So these gentlemen will go to the websites and they will buy not one title for their own use, but they will buy a lot of these titles. Now, if you think about these titles, most of them are limited, strictly limited to maybe 3,000 or less, which that's worldwide, which isn't you don't have a good shot at getting these ones anyway if the scalpers didn't exist. So you need all the help you can get. Now the scalpers will sort of take off. Now don't forget, there's a lot of scalpers out there, so they will sort of ream off the vast majority of these titles, put them on their own site, probably on eBay, that type of thing, maybe have some on Amazon as well, and they will charge an exorbitant amount of money for the same title even before it comes out, which is the one thing that really rankles me. The fact is you don't even get a chance to physically buy these things in the shops, which I'll talk about later on, and you are left at their mercy. So this video is about a bit of a help to hopefully get you to beat the scalpers and have you're in charge and not they're in charge. You can be one step ahead of them, and then you can get these things for yourself at a normal price, or even a price that is fitting to this title that you'd be willing to pay for, not one that the scalpers want you to pay for. We've all been there, we've all been scalped before. And so this video is going to hopefully help you to get through the pitfalls that you might get into when you have to deal with these type of people. So the first thing to do is to research these titles. Now everyone's got their favorite companies that they want to go to, whether it be Arrow, 88 or Second Sight, for instance. Now these releasing companies, they have usually they will tell you well in advance what they're working on, so you know it's coming up. And when they put the pre-order out, I would advise you to go straight for the pre-order. Now I often find things out on Facebook, on Instagram, on their own websites, on Blu-ray.com. You know that something's coming around the corner. I have my good friend Holgoth73 usually gets in touch with me way before anybody else seems to know about it, and says, did you know such and such is coming out? So it's on my radar. I'll write it down in my phone, and then I have that there to say, right, I'm going to keep looking back on that. So as the instant I get the chance to go for it, I will go for it. So the next thing I do, I decide what I actually need. Now, there is that many things at the moment being released by boutique labels, and I would love to collect them all because they are all usually great, but I know there's no way on earth I can do that. So I do concentrate on the ones that I want the most. I do collect certain ranges, so I would like to get them ranges sort of pre-ordered first. I do collect a certain style of thing, like a 4K special edition from the likes of Blue Underground. So I would put them high on my list, so my priority would be, I would look at these releases coming out, I would see some that I would think, that's okay, I'll get it if it's still around after I've got these other ones, but my priority lies with these titles first. Now I want to talk about a couple that are coming out that's right on my radar. In fact, I've just pre-ordered them, and that is the 4K of this title here, which was already released by Arrow, Bird with a Crystal Plumage, Dario Argento's first film, his first giallo film. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. This is a 4K restoration, so it was always the thing to say, well, if they got a 4K restoration, they'll be able to do a 4K disc. And lo and behold, the 4K disc has just been announced. So I went and pre-ordered it immediately from Arrow website. I want to talk about a little bit more about that, why you should go to the respective websites of these companies. And I ordered it immediately, and it was £30 with £4 postage, so it was £34. So I've secured that title. I know when it gets released in a couple of months' time, it is going to be posted to me. Now I can breathe out about that. I don't have to think about it. If I thought, right, that's a good title, I've already got it, I'll just weigh up the pros and cons, I might get it at a later date. That's the wrong way to think about it, because there's so many times that I've thought, I like the thought of this movie, but at this point, I'm going to say that because this is really one of my favourite films, and there's no way that I would let that thing go and then think, I wish. There's nothing worse when you think, I wish I had got that particular version of this 4K. Now it's going to be a special edition, but for £30, that's not bad, and I know for a fact because this one's ridiculous now. It's well out of print and it's ridiculous on eBay and stuff like that. The only place you can get it. Sometimes you can get a little bit of cheaper. I know that Tony from Horror and Todge managed to pick one of these up on Amazon Marketplace, but he'd been looking for a bit and he sort of chanced upon them. So that things can happen, but usually you're left at the hands of somebody who's selling these for a ridiculous price. Now these things might go up in price. I'm not saying they won't or they shouldn't, but there's a difference between something being a collector's item from way back when. I would be prepared to pay something like that if it was something from 20, 30 years ago. But these films are coming out now, and I'm going to talk about this one now. Demons, which has got a replacement disc coming, by the way. If you don't know, that one of the discs in here is slightly faulty on the soundtrack, Demons, and you can get a replacement disc. They're going to send them out from Arrow. If you haven't bought it from Arrow, you might have to go to, I don't know how you're going to get one, but you might have to have proof of purchase on it. So that's something else to talk about, but a bit later on. So yes, so I know a lot of people missed out on Demons. Don't worry about it, though, it's coming out in the standard version. But this here didn't get the chance to go anywhere bar the pre-order stage. And it was sold out before the pre-orders finished. So when it was street date and it came out, there was none to be had. So if you think on these pre-orders, especially with these, one of my favourite movies, if you think you're going to get a second chance at it, there's no second chance with these versions at the moment. You must realise, as I did when I bought, I went looking in HMV for the title Videodrome. It was one of the first ones I ever thought I would get on a premium version. Usually they were just on a sort of regular version from Arrow. So I went to HMV and says, right, can I have Videodrome on the special edition? I think it's £25. Fella said, no, haven't got any cent. And I said, well, it's just come out today. And he says, no, it's all gone. Pre-orders, they've all disappeared. And I thought, I don't believe it. I didn't even get a chance to buy it. So a lesson learned. So now, whenever I think about a movie, I always think to myself, if I know that it's coming out and I think, right, that's on my radar, I will put a pre-order in the day it comes on pre-order, and then you're guaranteed to get this movie. And if there's any problems with it, if you order from the company, you will get a chance to get yours. It'll be easier to get your replacement stuff if there's any faults in it. Also, I do know that you do get sort of certain things that are like exclusives when you buy from the company itself. I mean, when you go and buy this amazing set here from Second Sight Movies, you did get this as exclusive R cards. Didn't know they were coming, but they did. So you can't buy these in the shops. You probably can't even get this in the shop because this was sold out as well. So another lesson is, don't wait to think that you can. Well, the shops aren't open at the minute, but they are going to be opening soon. So if the shops are back open and you want to go and just pick up these things from the shop and on the shelves, no chance. You have to pre-order them. Or if you don't pre-order them, you will get got by the scalpers for sure. You might be lucky, but you probably won't be. And because of the fear of missing out, you will think to yourself, I've got to get this. All right, I paid £44 for it, but what could I possibly put on this? Maybe I could do £80, £90, and then I've got it. And then you feel great for getting it, but you do feel a little bit ripped off as well, because you think, well, I could have had this for much cheaper. And the problem I've got with scalpers is, because they sort of hoover up all the pre-orders, that basically you don't really never get the chance to get these things in the shops ever. There's only really HMV that would be a shop that you could buy this from, or FOP. So you've got little or no chance. Well, you've got no chance basically. So never think that you would pick these things up in the shop. That's a big mistake to do, because you've got no chance at all to do this. It's just a thing that just doesn't happen now. Pre-orders are the way forward for us, and also for scalpers. If pre-orders didn't exist, I don't imagine that you would get the chance. You would probably get the chance to get HMV if you knew someone in HMV. You could say, listen, can you put one behind the counter for me and I'll go and pick it up? We could do that. But unfortunately, on pre-order states, the scalpers win to a certain amount. But let's see if we can get that to stop, because I would like to think that, say, the people who watch this video who go in big style on these boutique label stuff, and they want to get these things, they want a shot at it at least. If you can pre-order and get these things on release, well, before release, probably sometimes when you order from Arrow, say I got that well before it was released, and there's no better feeling to think, right, I've got it, it's in me collection, I'll put it away now, I'll forget about that one, I can move on to the next one, and you will think to yourself that you have beaten the scalpers on this one. There's no better feel in mind to think that you've done it. So if you pre-order from the companies, you've got a few advantages. Sometimes you get a reward scheme. So for Arrow, and I think 88 Films do it as well. I haven't ordered off 88 Films yet. They will give you some points towards your next title. So way back when, I built up a load of points on my Arrow personal account, and I was able to pick up this title, believe it or not, for £4.19 postage. I think I probably only paid for the postage, if that, and it was basically free. I was just so amazed to get this. I didn't really know about the point system. I think somebody told me, and I thought, oh wow, I must have loads of points in there. I did. Unfortunately, after that I lost the login details for that, so I've had to build myself a new account, which that's got some points on as well. But you've got that benefit that you could say, right, I could literally get that and then put some money off, well, put some points on it and drop the price right down to it. So maybe even if you got this and you had a load of points, you get this for next to nothing, which is absolutely amazing. So that's a good benefit as well. Sometimes you like to see you get some exclusives as well with the website that you don't get in the shops, and you never will get in the shops. And I would imagine, though I've never looked, somebody would be putting these on for a ridiculous amount of money. And if you wanted to get them to sort of make your set complete, if you were a completist like I am, you would then be at their mercy. So really, this video is hopefully to try and give you a heads up to stop you being at the mercy of the scalpers, because there's no winning with them. It's just down to luck if you can get one that's just not that bad in price. As well, I would say don't go to Amazon for one of these titles, because you do run the risk of being very much disappointed. I was with Gamera. Fair enough, I did snooze a little bit with a big Gamera box set, and I left it too long, and then I went and ordered it, and it went through and everything, but I don't think that was from Amazon. I think that was from a third party. Now, these third parties will buy these things or say they can get these things. You give them the money, they go and buy it, probably for it was a little bit extra. Well, it wasn't that much extra. That's why I went and bought it. But I never got it, and it was got right down to the last little click before they said they were going to send it out after a month, and then it just didn't happen. And then you're so disappointed to think, I haven't got it. I have got the standard version now, and I like the standard version, but at that point I thought, well, if they're going to promise it to me, well, that's another thing about companies. When you're in touch with them, they will send them to you, and they will let you know what's going on. They won't say to you, we've got 1 million in stock, and you go and buy something and say, we've got none left. That doesn't happen. So you've got a much more better communication that you have with the likes of Arrow, 88, and you can just go straight to them, and you can have that sort of one-to-one. Whereas with Amazon, especially the third parties get involved with this, you've got no reply to anything. It just seems like you're sort of in no man's land. I couldn't get in touch with anyone about that Gamera, why it got cancelled, why it got right to nearly on my doorstep and got turned away. I couldn't find out what that was about at all. So that was a bit demoralising. But anyway, these things work out. So that's just another reason why to go to the websites, go to Arrow, go to 88, go to Second Sight, get these things on release as soon as they were talked about. Pre-order them. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you can say, well, I've ordered 2 big things this month. I've ordered the Bird with the Crystal Plumage, the 4K of that, and I've also ordered the Blue Underground film, The Final Countdown, which is on a lenticular case. It's £40. It's quite expensive. It's come from Wow HD. So I go onto Wow HD to get my American stuff, and they go and they do a great job. They post it here. It's free postage. You do pay a bit of tax on it. That's just the way it is. That's the benefit of living in Brexit. But basically, what you can do is you can get these things on pre-order. Now, I don't think I don't pay for the things from Amazon yet. So that £30 is £34 is not taken out yet. So you can sort of squirrel a little bit of money away and see when these things are going to happen. So these things I might not even pay for another couple of months. So that's good. That's a good way to sort of save up the money if you haven't got the money to get these two things. Maybe now I've done that, I can think about getting something this month that's a bit more closer to coming out, which I don't know yet. I haven't really looked through Amazon and stuff like that to get a bit of a heads up of what's going on. I don't think there's anything around the corner for me. I think these are the two things I was after. I do know there's a Dead and Buried Blu-ray from Blue Underground, 4K coming out, and I do want to get that one. But I know that hasn't been released yet, and I know they're talking about how they're going to get the specs of it all out. So I follow them on Instagram and Facebook, and as soon as anything's talked about with what they're going to do with it, I will immediately order Dead and Buried. It'll probably be about the £40 one, but I'll tell you this: when you've got this lenticular case, it's got a CD soundtrack, it's got the whole 9 yards. When you go to the second-hand market and you go to the scalpers, that's when you pay your big bucks. I'd rather pay £40 for it. It might seem a bit exuberant, but it's nothing compared to what you will have to pay for it. So maybe you're looking for the collection and people are saying to you, wow, we've got this, this and this. It must have cost you a fortune. Well, it wasn't cheap, but it was a lot cheaper than going to any form of the scalpers. So to recap, I think you've got to weigh up the pros and cons of what you're doing when you're collecting. Do you want to get these premium editions? If you do, you need to act fast. Now, for instance, this one here, this is the Blu-ray of Battle Royale from Arrow. And they have just released, they have talked about a 4K version of this. Now, the 4K version of this is quite high, quite expensive. I do think that this version from the Blu-ray is absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best editions I've got in the form of boutique labels. It's absolutely amazing. It looks absolutely incredible, and I know the Battle Royale itself will look that much better. But this is what I'm going to do on this release. So this one is going to stop my collection as the definitive version packaging wise. Now, I could go for the 4K version of this, which I think is around about £50–60, which is it's not cheap. And for the upgrade I'm going to get, I'm going to stick with this for packaging, and I'm going to get a standard version of the 4K. So that's going to save me a little bit of money down the line. I can use that money for something else, and also I'm still going to have the benefit of having a 4K version of it, and I'm also going to have this lovely packaging. The packaging on the other one is great, but then again, if you didn't have any Battle Royales, I would imagine that one would be the best one to go for. So that's a little bit of an idea into how I prioritize things and make sure that I don't sort of overspend and have a million copies of this type of thing, because if I got the other one, the 4K, I still would want to keep this one because it's that nice. So that would mean I've got this massive amount of stuff invested in Battle Royale. I know you get Battle Royale 2 on the 4K version, and it's not on this disc, but I can live with that and get the standard one. That's more than enough. After all, I just want the films. So, like I say, prioritize what you want. Don't over spend on these titles. You spend enough on them, so be quite cute with what you spent with, because it's easy to over budget yourself and then run out of money and then think to yourself, why did I do that? And these things can become a little bit of a bind when you think I've got that much on pre-order, and then you get to your regular stuff and you can't afford any of them. I like to have a nice healthy balance where I can think, yes, I've got these great big special editions at the cheapest price I can get them. Then they're still going to be quite expensive, but not as half as expensive when you get into the realm of the scalpers. So yes, so thanks once again for watching. I hope that's been informative to you. I've had this on my mind to do this for quite a while, because I do see a lot of people have really been scalped with this version, this film, and I do think that a lot of people didn't get a fair crack at the whip with this title. It's a really, really solid release that everyone, I would imagine, who likes this film would want, and there was a lot of people who had to miss out on it, which isn't fair. because I know that as soon as this comes out, even before it comes out, you will have the people on Scalpers putting it on eBay. Now, if you see it on eBay and it doesn't have a picture of the box, you will know that this person probably doesn't have it. They are waiting for it to come to them. If you order it off them, they'll just go and order it off Arrow. Now, they're in the same boat as us. If they don't actually own the physical thing, they might think, I would love to sell 10 of these. But if they haven't got the 10, they just tell you there's 10 there. And you're better off sidestepping those lot and going straight to the horse's mouth. And you've probably got a much better chance. And I mean, don't get us wrong, sometimes these orders can sell out quite quickly, and I'm talking in a matter of days. So if you don't get the heads up, you don't say anything about it, and you do get into that sort of nether regions where there's just nothing happening, you think to yourself, but this has happened. It's happened to me. You miss out. But don't always remember, especially with Arrow, these things will come out on a standard version on the 4K, so you're not going to miss out. You miss out on some packaging, but it's either, do you want the packaging and prepare to pay stupid money for it, or do you want to just buy it for the 4K and just think, well, c'est la vie, that's just the way it's going to be. Then you can take the money that you would have spent on the massive amount on this scalped disc for you, then you can put that to good use with other stuff, and then you can buy the standard edition of the Demons films, and you haven't lost out. So it's all about saving everybody a bit of money here. It's all about not being conned by these con artists, because that's all they are. And don't forget, especially when you buy from the company, and if you get one and it's wrecked, because I saw a load of people getting ones from the Amazon version when they were selling them, the Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead version was coming from Amazon, and you were seeing some horror stories by the way that it was posted. Don't forget that some of them weren't posted by Amazon, were posted by these third-party people. So there's that to bear in mind as well. But when this came from Second Sight, it was packed just incredibly. It had that much bubble wrap in it. I've never seen anything like it. So there's no way this was going to get damaged. And if it did get damaged, you just go to a Second Sight and you just say, look, I got this, it's wrecked. And they will send you out a replacement. You send one back, they send you a replacement. So that's all good. So you've got a lot more with dealing with the people, the actual companies. You've got a lot more sort of protection on your investment, as opposed to getting something, and if you get it from its third party on Amazon and you say this is wrecked, they'll say, well, I'll give you a bit of money off or send it back, but you'll never get another one. So that's a couple of tips that I wanted to give to you. This is how I do my shopping when I come to especially boutique labels, because boutique labels are the ones that really suffer with the scalpers. There's other titles. I mean, if you think about this one, you can go and get these, collect these slasher collection things from 88 movies. But this one is massively out of print. It went out of print very quickly. You had to be on the ball. So really as well, if you're getting things from this labels with numbered, just keep on getting them. Don't say, oh, well, I get them further down the line, because there's a big chance that they'll be sold out, and then where do you go? The scalpers. Okay, so thanks for watching. You take care, and I will see you on the next video.